Revenge with Karen.
I'm sitting in a chair that smells like 15 years of terrified ass sweat and stale Folgers, watching a pressure gauge for a fuel line in rural Pennsylvania twitch like a meth addict coming down off a 3-day bender. It's 3 a.m. Most of you are asleep, or maybe you're doom scrolling while your spouse snores, wondering where it all went wrong. Me. I'm the reason the eastern seaboard doesn't wake up to a fireball instead of a sunrise. I'm the silence between the spark and the boom. My name is Donna. I'm 45, I look 55, and I have the lung capacity of a coal miner's canary thanks to a pack-a-day habit I picked up during the divorce. For 6 years, I've been the senior integrity manager for Miller Energy. Sounds fancy, right? It's not. Means I'm the glorified babysitter for 4,000 miles of rusting steel pipe that carries enough jet fuel and diesel to turn half the Midwest into a Michael Bay movie. The control room is a tomb. No windows, just banks of monitors glowing with the kind of harsh blue light that makes your skin look like uncooked chicken. The air conditioning hums this low, vibrating note that rattles your fillings. It's my church. The Church of Flow Dynamics. The god of this church is a grumpy old bastard named Physics, who doesn't give a single flying shit about your quarterly earnings report. Tonight, Sector 4 is acting up again. It's a junction near a creek, a 60-year-old valve that sticks whenever the temperature drops below freezing. The screen shows a pressure spike, 900 psi and climbing. The safe operational limit is 850. If it hits 1,100, we start popping welds. I don't panic. Panic is for people who have hobbies and hope. I lean forward, crack my knuckles, which sound like dry twigs snapping, and type in the command to throttle the flow upstream. Click, clack, enter. The numbers hesitate. The graph flatlines, then dips. 890, 860, 840, safe. I take a sip of coffee that's been sitting on the desk since midnight. It's cold, viscous, and tastes like pencil shavings. Perfect. Now, here's the kicker. By saving the pipe, I just slowed down the delivery of 50,000 barrels of diesel by about 12% for the next hour. That means a tanker truck in Pittsburgh is going to wait an extra 20 minutes. That means a spreadsheet somewhere is going to turn from a happy green to an angry red. And that means Preston is going to lose his mind. Preston is the founder's son. Imagine a golden retriever that went to business school, but flunked out of being a good boy 101. He wears suits that cost more than my truck, and has teeth so white they qualify as a blinding hazard. His dad, Old Man Miller, built this company with a welding torch and grit. Preston thinks integrity is a brand of cologne. To him, I'm not the safety net. I'm the obstruction. I'm the grumpy woman in the basement who keeps ruining his optimization metrics, wants the graphs to be smooth lines, straight up and to the right. But pipes aren't smooth. Pipes are chaos encased in metal. They breathe, they rust, they groan. Look, before I get into how I burned this whole kingdom to the ground, do me a solid. If you're reading this while hiding in the bathroom at work, hit that upvote or subscribe button or whatever. It helps the algorithm find more disasters like me, and God knows we need the company. Consider it a tip for the janitor. So, back to the grime. I log the incident, Sector 4 valve sticking, throttled for preventive mitigation. Recommendation, inspect immediately. I know exactly what's going to happen when the sun comes up. Preston is going to walk in here, smelling like sandalwood and entitlement, and ask me why I choked the revenue stream. He doesn't see the explosion I prevented. He only sees the dollars I delayed. I look at the monitor. There's a sticky note on the bezel, yellow and curling at the edges. It's a note from Old Man Miller himself, written 3 years ago before he retired to Florida to wrestle gators or whatever rich old rednecks do. It says, "Becky, if it leaks, we lose. Don't let it leak." Simple, direct, the kind of order you can respect. But Old Man Miller isn't here anymore. Preston is. And Preston has been trying to figure out how to fire me for 6 months. Thinks he can replace me with an algorithm or a cheaper contractor who will just so the pressure gauges until something bursts. I light a cigarette. Yeah, I know, you can't smoke in a control room. Fire hazards, oxygen sensors, blah, blah, blah. I taped over the smoke detector above my desk 2 years ago. It's the only rebellion I have left. I exhale a cloud of gray smoke at the screen, watching it swirl around the jagged red line of the pressure graph. Come on, you rusty bitch. I whisper to the valve in the state. Hold together one more night. I'm tired. Not the kind of tired that sleep fixes. The kind of tired that settles in your bones when you realize you care more about the company's survival than the people who own it do. I've spent 6 years listening to the heartbeat of this monster. I know every murmur, every arrhythmia. I know that the pump station in Toledo vibrates when it rains. The sensor in West Virginia gives false positives when the humidity hits 90%. I am the ghost in the machine, and they're about to try and exorcise me. I check my email. There's a draft I've been working on for a week. It's addressed to the Federal Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration, PHMSA. It's got attachments. Lots of attachments. Pictures of corrosion Preston told me to ignore. Emails where he asked me to massage the data. I haven't sent it yet. I'm not a rat, I'm a loyal dog, but even a loyal dog bites if you kick it enough times. The door to the control room buzzes. It's barely 6 a.m. The shift change isn't for another hour. My stomach drops, not fear, anticipation. Like hearing the tornado siren start up. The door opens and in walks Preston. He's not alone. He's got 2 security guards with him and 2 cops who look like they failed the entrance exam for the mall patrol. Preston is smiling. That's never good. It's the smile of a shark that just found a seal with a limp. "Morning, Donna," he says. His voice is smooth like oiled plastic. "Rough night with the numbers, I see." I put out my cigarette in a half-empty soda can. "Saved your ass in Sector 4, Preston. You're welcome," he chuckles. It's a dry, hollow sound. See, that's the problem. You see disaster everywhere. We see inefficiency. I spin my chair around. "What do you want, Preston?" "I've got reports to file." "Oh, don't worry about the reports," he says, stepping closer. The security guards shuffle awkwardly behind him. "We're making some changes, going in a more dynamic direction. I know what's coming. I can feel it in the air, heavier than the cigarette smoke." The shotgun blast is loaded. Dynamic, I repeat. Is that corporate speak for ignoring safety protocols? It's corporate speak for you're fired, he says, the smile never wavering. "Pack your box, Becky. You're done." I look at him. I look at the screens. I look at the blinking green light that says system stable. "You sure about that, Preston?" I ask, my voice drop dead calm. "Very," I nod. I reach into my pocket and touch the USB drive on my keychain. The backup, the insurance policy. "Okay," I say, "but you might want to check the user manual on the way out, specifically the chapter on automatic integrity fail-safes." He rolls his eyes. "Please, spare me the drama. Get her out of here." I stand up. My knees pop. I grab my purse. I don't grab a box. I don't need a box. 18 minutes, I say. "What?" "You have 18 minutes, I say, walking past him. Before the ghost in the machine wakes up, he laughs. He actually laughs. "Get out, Donna." I walk out, and the clock starts ticking. Walk from the control desk to the main hallway feels like a funeral procession for my dignity. The operations floor is an open-plan nightmare of cubicles and low-hanging ceiling tiles that look like they've been stained with nicotine since the Reagan administration. It's shift change, so the place is crawling. Day shifters are filtering in with their oversized thermoses and dead eyes. Night shifters are shuffling out, looking like vampires caught in sunrise. And there I am, sandwiched between 2 security guards, Frick and Frack, being paraded through the center aisle like a captured felon. Preston is walking a few steps ahead of me, performing for the audience. He's got that commanding executive strut-down pat, chest puffed out like a pigeon that just found a French fry. He wants everyone to see this. He wants to make an example of the woman who said no. "Everyone, listen up." Preston claps his hands. Sound echoes off the linoleum. The room goes quiet. The hum of the servers seems to get louder. "As part of our Q4 restructuring, we are prioritizing efficiency and modern data handling," he announces, his voice projecting like he's running for student council president. "Donna here has been struggling to adapt to our new velocity. We thank her for her service, but we need team players who are focused on growth, not obstacles." Struggling to adapt. Phrase hits me like a wet towel to the face. I adapted to a pipeline leak in a blizzard in 2018 when his ass was skiing in Aspen. I adapted to a cyber attack in 2021 by manually overriding valves for 14 hours straight while peeing in a bucket because I couldn't leave the console. I see Kevin, a junior analyst, standing by the coffee machine. He looks like he's about to throw up. He knows. He's seen the reports, seen me fight Preston on the corrosion allowances for the last 6 months. Kevin's eyes meet mine, wide and terrified. He gives a tiny, almost imperceptible shake of his head. "Don't go," his eyes say. "Who's going to watch the monitors?" I give him a tight smile. "Not my circus, not my monkeys anymore, Kev. You're making a mistake, Preston, I say, loud enough for the room to hear. I don't shout. Shouting is for people who are losing. I keep my voice flat, reading a pressure gauge. Preston spins around, looking delighted that I'm taking the bait. The only mistake was keeping you on this long, Donna. Your safety buffers cost us $3 million last quarter. Those buffers kept the pipeline from rupturing under the Illinois River, I counter. But hey, who needs fresh water when you have quarterly bonuses, right? A few nervous chuckles from the back of the room. Preston's smile tightens. His face flushes a blotchy pink, clashing with his chemically whitened teeth. Security, escort her out. Now, and revoke her credentials immediately. One of the guards, a guy named Mike who I've shared donuts with for 5 years, looks at me apologetically. Sorry, Becky, he mumbles. Just doing the job. It's okay, Mike, I say. Just make sure you're not standing near the blast zone in. I check my cheap Casio watch. 16 minutes. Preston scoffs, loud and theatrical. Oh, stop with the cryptic nonsense. There's no bomb. She's just being dramatic. It's a classic hysterical reaction. Hysterical, that word, that specific word. It's the matches to my gasoline. I stop walking. I plant my steel-toed boots on the cheap carpet and stare Preston dead in the eyes. It's not a bomb, Preston, I say, my voice dripping with the kind of venom you usually have to pay extra for. It's a protocol. The Founder's Integrity Cascade. You know, when your dad insisted on. The one that requires a licensed Level 4 integrity manager to be logged in at all times. He waves a hand dismissively. We have plenty of managers. Not Level 4s, I say. I'm the only one. And per the federal compliance agreement you signed, which I'm guessing you didn't read because it didn't have pictures, if the primary credentials are revoked without a scheduled handover. Well, I let the silence hang there. Well, what? He snaps. System assumes the worst, I say. It assumes the control room has been compromised. Hostile takeover, terrorist act, ransomware, and it defends itself. You're bluffing, he sneers. IT will override it. IT can't override physics, Preston. And they certainly can't override a hard-coded logic gate written in COBOL by a guy who died in 1998. He steps into my personal space. I can smell his breath, peppermint, and coffee masking the rot. If you sabotaged my network, I will sue you into homelessness. I didn't sabotage anything, I say, smiling for the first time. It's not a nice smile. It's the smile of a wolf watching a sheep wander off a cliff. I just did my job. I built a system that refuses to be run by idiots. If that feels like sabotage to you, that's a confession, not an accusation. I turn to Mike. Let's go, Mike. I want to beat the traffic before the news crews show up. Walk to the elevators. I can feel Preston's eyes boring into my back. I can hear him barking orders at Kevin. Get IT on the phone, check the code. She's lying. The elevator doors slide open. I step in. As the doors close, I see the digital clock on the wall. 06:14 a.m. 14 minutes left. The doors shut, cutting off the sight of Preston's red face. The silence of the elevator is beautiful. I lean back against the mirrored wall and close my eyes. My heart is hammering against my ribs, but my hands are steady. I reach into my pocket and pull out my phone. No service in the elevator. Perfect. I'm not just walking out of a job. I'm walking away from the only thing that's given my life meaning since my husband left me for a yoga instructor named Tiffany who thinks gluten is a government conspiracy. I poured my soul into those pipes. I know every weld. And now, leaving them alone with a man who thinks they're just lines on a spreadsheet. It hurts. It hurts like a physical blow. But there's a cold, hard kernel of satisfaction in my gut. They wanted to cut costs? Fine. Let's see how much it costs when the automated safety valves slam shut on 50% of their inventory. Going down. The elevator descends with a lurch that feels entirely too metaphorical. I'm in a metal box, dropping toward the bottom. The people at the top are about to find out gravity is a bitch. Mike, the security guard, shifts his weight. He's staring at his shoes. So, is it real? The 18 minutes thing? I look at him. Mike has 3 kids and drives a Honda Civic with 200,000 miles on it. He's good people. Mike, do you remember the pipeline burst in 09, the one in Kalamazoo? Yeah, he says. Big mess. Old man Miller laid awake for weeks after that, I tell him. Was terrified some hotshot MBA would try to run the pump's red line just to boost the stock price. So he had me write a script. We called it the dead man's break. If the designated integrity manager, that's me, gets booted off the system without a replacement keying in, the system assumes no one is driving the bus. And it stops the bus, Mike asks. It doesn't just stop it, I say. It chokes it. It drops every flow rate to conservative safe mode, isolates the high-pressure zones. It basically turns the entire network into a trickle until a qualified adult logs back in. Mike whistles low. Preston is gonna shit a brick. Preston is gonna build a whole house out of bricks, I correct him. The elevator dings, lobby level. We step out onto the polished marble floor. The lobby of Miller Energy is designed to intimidate. High ceilings, abstract art that looks like twisted metal ironic. A giant digital map of the US on the wall with glowing green lines representing the pipeline network. I stop and look at the map. It's beautiful. Arteries of energy pulsing across the continent. I wrote the code that drives the visualization on that wall. I know that the green line near St. Louis is actually under maintenance and should be yellow, but they hard-coded it green for the investors. Lies, I mutter. Pretty, shiny lies. The receptionist, sweet girl named Sarah who have helped fix her heater twice, looks up. She sees the guards. Her face falls. Becky, everything okay? Just taking an early retirement, Sarah, I say, keeping my voice light. You might want to hold off on ordering lunch for the executive floor. They're not going to have much of an appetite. I reach the turnstiles. This is it, the border. I need your badge, Donna, Mike says softly. He sounds like he's asking for a kidney. Unclasp the lanyard from my neck. The plastic ID card is worn smooth at the edges. My photo is from 6 years ago. I look younger, less angry, less tired. I look like someone who thought she could make a difference. I hand it to him. And the phone, the other guard says, company property. I hand over the company iPhone. I kept my personal burner in my back pocket. I'm not an amateur. Keys. I drop the ring of keys into Mike's hand. Master key to the control room. The key to the server cage. The key to the gate at the dispatch yard. Take care of yourself, Mike, I say. You too, Becky. I push through the turnstile. It clicks. A mechanical, final sound. I walk out the glass double doors, and the humid air hits me like a wet blanket. The sky is gray, threatening rain. The parking lot is filled with the sensible sedans of the workers and the obnoxiously large SUVs of the management. I walk to my truck, 2015 Ford F-150 with a dent in the tailgate and a bumper sticker that says, if you can read this, you're too close to my hazardous materials. I climb in. The cab smells like stale tobacco and fast food wrappers. It smells like home. I put the key in the ignition, but I don't turn it. I just sit there. My hands are shaking now. The adrenaline is wearing off, replaced by a cold, hollow dread. I just blew up my career. I just burned the bridge, river, and the village on the other side. I check my personal phone. 06:22 a.m. 8 minutes since I left the desk. 10 minutes left on the timer. Inside that building, Preston is probably screaming at Kevin. Kevin is probably frantically typing, trying to find the override code. But he won't find it, because the override code isn't a password. It's a biometric handshake that requires my fingerprint and a specific sequence of commands that I never wrote down. Preston thought he was firing an employee. He didn't realize he was pulling the fuel rod out of a nuclear reactor. I could drive away. I could go home, crack a beer, and wait for the lawsuit. But I don't. I sit there, staring at the building. I want to watch. I want to see the moment the all systems normal banner in the lobby flickers and dies. I light a cigarette. The lighter flares, a tiny burst of warmth. Tick-tock, Preston, I whisper. Tick-tock, my phone buzzes, a text from Kevin. Kevin, he's trying to use the admin bypass. It's not working. The system is asking for integrity token. What is that? I don't reply. I just watch the smoke curl up against the windshield. The integrity token is me, Kevin. It's the 6 years of missed birthdays, the ruined marriage, the ulcers, the sleepless nights. It's the human cost of keeping that oil moving. And Preston just threw it in the trash. Now he gets to see how much the trash was actually worth. I'm sitting in my truck, playing chicken with my own conscience. My phone is blowing up. Kevin is texting me like he's trapped in a burning building. Kevin, Becky, please. The pressure sensors are flagging yellow. Preston is yelling at IT, but they can't see the logic block. Help, Kevin. T-4 minutes on the countdown you mentioned. Is this real? I flip the phone face down on the passenger seat. The vibration against the leather sounds like an angry hornet. Inside the building, I know exactly what the air feels like right now. It's getting thick. The low hum of the AC is being drowned out by the rising pitch of confusion. Preston is likely standing over the main console, his expensive suit jacket unbuttoned, sweat beading on that spray-tanned forehead. He's used to problems he can solve with money or bullying. He can't bully a line of code. He can't bribe a pressure differential. 06:30 a.m., the witching hour. I close my eyes and picture the map on the lobby wall. In my mind, I see the green lines. 3, 2, 1. Inside the control room, a chime will sound. Not a siren. Old man Miller hated sirens. He wanted a chime like a grandfather clock. Gentle reminder of mortality, he called it. Bong. On the screens, the flow rate indicators for the northeast corridor will drop. Not to 0, that causes hydraulic hammer and breaks pipes. No, they'll drop to exactly 48%. The safe harbor speed, it starts. I look up at the building. From the outside, nothing changes. It's just a glass box in a gray parking lot, but I know. My phone buzzes again. It's not Kevin this time. It's an unknown number, probably Preston using a desk phone. I let it ring. Then, the first visible sign. A tanker truck pulls up to the loading gate at the south end of the facility. The driver swipes his card. The gate doesn't open. He tries again. Nothing. He leans out of the cab, throws his hands up. He honks. I chuckle. It's a dark, jagged sound. Sorry, buddy, pumps are napping. Come back when management grows a brain. The system logic is ruthless. When in integrity loss mode, automated loading arms lock in the stowed position. No authorized overseer, no fuel transfer. It prevents theft, and more importantly, it prevents spills during unmonitored transfers. The driver gets on his radio. He's calling dispatch. Dispatch is about to call the control room. The control room is about to tell them. Well, they don't know what to tell them. I imagine Preston screaming, "Why aren't the pumps pumping? Override it. Just open the valves." The system responding, access denied. Integrity manager required. It's satisfying. God, it's like heroin, the validation. For years, I was the buzzkill. I was the one saying we can't increase flow, the turbulence is too high. They treated me like a broken brake pedal. Now they realize I was the steering wheel. But then the guilt hits. It's a sharp pang in my chest, right next to the anger. I think about the hospitals. The system has a prioritized list. Hospitals and emergency services get first draw. I coded that myself. They won't run dry, not today. But the airports, the Amazon distribution centers, the gas stations, they're about to feel the squeeze. Prices will jump. People will be late. Deliveries will be missed. Am I the villain? I ask the empty truck cab. I look at the Danny DeVito bobblehead glued to my dashboard. It's a stupid joke gift from my ex-husband, but I kept it. Danny stares back, smiling his chaotic smile. So anyway, I started blasting. I mutter, quoting the meme, "No, I'm not the villain. I didn't turn the system off. I just refused to let them drive drunk without a designated driver." Another text. This one is from Preston Mobile. He must have gotten my number from HR files. Preston, Donna, pick up. This is a felony. I will have the FBI at your door in an hour. I laugh out loud. A felony. Following the federally mandated safety protocol to the letter is a felony. I pick up the phone and type a reply. My thumbs fly over the cracked screen. Me, read the Federal Register, Section 195.452, Pipeline Integrity Management in High Consequence Areas. Then read the company policy document signed by your father on August 12, 2018. It's not a felony, Preston. It's compliance. Have a nice day. I hit send. I put the truck in gear. I'm not going home. If I go home, I'll just pace around my apartment and stare at the wall. I need to go somewhere where I can do the real damage. The paperwork damage. I drive out of the parking lot, passing the confused tanker driver who is now banging on the guard shack window. I give him a little wave. He flips me off. Fair enough. I head toward the library. Public Wi-Fi. Secure connection. No way for Preston to track the IP address to my house. The timer has run out. The bomb has detonated. Now it's time to sift through the rubble and make sure the right people get buried. I pull into the parking lot of the county library. It's a sad brick building next to a vape shop and a We Buy Gold place. The glamour of my life knows no bounds. I grab my laptop bag, a heavy canvas messenger bag that survived more field inspections than most soldiers have deployments, and head inside. The air is quiet, smelling of old paper and carpet cleaner. I find a table in the corner, far away from the weird guy sleeping in the periodicals section. I crack open my laptop. It's an old ThinkPad built like a tank. I boot it up and connect to the public Wi-Fi via a VPN. Paranoia? Maybe. But when you're poking $1 billion bear, wear armor. I log into the PHMSA Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration portal. My draft complaint is sitting there, waiting like a loaded gun. Allegation of systemic safety violations and retaliation against whistleblowers. I start typing. I update the file. Update 07:15 a.m. EST. Employment terminated for refusing to suppress critical pressure warnings in Sector 4. Upon termination, automated safety protocols, integrity cascade engaged. Executive management, Preston Miller, currently attempting to bypass safety locks without qualified oversight. I attached the screenshots I took last night, the pressure graphs, the emails from Preston saying, "Fix the numbers, Becky. Make it green." While the files upload, I check the industry news sites. It's starting. Midwest Fuel Logistics Report. Unexpected throughput drop reported at Miller Energy terminals. Spot prices for diesel in the state rise $0.15. 15 cents in 45 minutes, that's fast. The market smells blood in the water. My phone vibrates. It's not a text. It's a call. The ID says unlisted. I stare at it. It could be Preston's lawyers, it could be the cops, or it could be him. I slide the bar to answer. "This is Donna, Becky." Voice is gravel and cigarettes. It sounds like a cement mixer trying to whisper. "It's old man Miller." "Mr. Miller," I say. I sit up straighter, pure reflex. "I didn't think you checked your phone on the golf course." "I'm not on the golf course," he growls. "I'm in a boardroom in Chicago, watching my net worth drop by $4 million an hour. Tell me what's going on. Ask your son, sir. He's the one running the show now." "I'm asking you," Miller snaps. "Preston is screaming about hackers and sabotage. He says you wrote a virus." "I didn't write a virus, sir. I let the system run the integrity cascade, the one you signed off on. Remember, the one that says if the integrity manager is removed without a certified handover, the system throttles down to prevent a catastrophic failure." Silence on the other end. Heavy breathing. "He fired you?" Miller asks. His voice is quieter now. Dangerous. 6:00 a.m. this morning. Security escort. No handover, no transition. Just get out. "Jesus Christ," Miller mutters. "The idiot, the absolute idiot." "He tried to override it, sir," I add. "I suspect he's still trying. If he forces a bypass on the logic gate while the pressure is unstable in Sector 4, well, you know what happens to the welds on the Cuyahoga line. They unzip," Miller says, "and we dump 10,000 gallons into the river." "Exactly. So the system is protecting you, Mr. Miller. It's doing exactly what we paid it to do. It's stopping your son from committing an environmental crime." "Becky," Miller says, "I need you to fix this. Log and remote, override the cascade. I'll pay you double your salary, consulting fee, whatever. It's tempting. God, it's tempting to be the hero, to save the day, to have the old man owe me." But then I remember Preston's face. Hysterical, struggling to adapt. I remember the 6 years of missed holidays, time I missed my niece's baptism because a sensor failed in Kentucky. "I can't do that, sir," I say softly. "What do you mean you can't? You wrote the damn code. I'm not an employee anymore, Mr. Miller. I don't have insurance. I don't have legal protection. If I log in now and something goes wrong, Preston will blame me. He'll say I hacked back in to cause damage. I can't touch that keyboard without a federal regulator standing behind me." "Becky, do this to me?" "I didn't do it, sir. You gave the keys to a toddler. I just took the safety wheels off." I hang up. My hand is shaking again. I just hung up on the man who built the industry. I just told a billionaire no. I look at the laptop screen. The upload to the federal portal is complete. The submit button is green. I hover the mouse over it. If I click this, there's no going back. The investigation will be mandatory. They'll audit everything. Find the corrosion. They'll find the fake reports Preston made me file. They'll find the cracks in the empire. It won't just hurt Preston. It might destroy the company. It might destroy old man Miller's legacy. I think of the valve in Sector 4, the one holding back the pressure. It's rusting. It's tired. It's holding on by a thread. Just like me. For the river, I whisper. I click submit. An hour passes. I'm on my third cup of vending machine coffee, which tastes like hot brown water and despair. My laptop is a command center now. I have 3 tabs open: the local news, a crude live map of regional fuel prices, and my email. The news is catching up. Breaking: major slowdown at Miller Energy Pipeline Hub causes panic buying at regional terminals. Spokesperson claims scheduled maintenance, but insiders report technical failure. Scheduled maintenance. That's the oldest lie in the book. My phone rings again. This time, it's a video call request. From Miller Corporate Conference Room B, they're calling in the cavalry. I debate ignoring it, but curiosity is a disease and I'm terminal. I adjust my webcam, making sure the background shows the dusty library shelves. Let them see where I am. Let them see I'm out in the wild. I accept the call. The screen flickers to life. I'm looking into the fishbowl, the glass-walled conference room next to the control center. It's a full house. Preston is there, looking like he's aged 10 years in 2 hours. His tie is loosened, his hair is disheveled. He's pacing. Old Man Miller is on a massive screen on the wall, red-faced and pixelated via Zoom. And sitting at the table, looking like he wants to die, is the head of legal, a weasel named Gary. She picked up, Gary says, sounding surprised. Donna, Preston shouts, leaning into the camera. You need to reverse this. Now, the regulators are calling. I say calmly, I already talked to them. Well, I submitted the paperwork anyway. The room goes silent. You could hear a stock option drop. You what? Preston whispers. I filed a whistleblower complaint, Preston. Section 806 of Sarbanes-Oxley, plus the pipeline safety regulations. I uploaded the logs, the real logs, not the ones you paint green. Old Man Miller's voice booms from the wall screen. Preston, shut up. Becky, listen to me. I'm listening, Mr. Miller. We can fix this, Miller says, his voice straining for calm. We can say it was a misunderstanding, a glitch. I'll reinstate you. Retroactive, full benefits, a raise, just give us the unlock code. It's not a code, sir, I explain, feeling like a kindergarten teacher explaining why we don't eat glue. It's a credential. I have to be there. I have to scan my biometrics and accept liability for the network. And I can't do that. Why not? Preston screams. Get in your truck and drive back here. Because I say, leaning into the camera, Preston here fired me for performance issues. If I come back and something blows up, he'll claim I was incompetent. I need a guarantee, a legal one. What do you want? Gary the lawyer asks, pen hovering over a notepad. I want a third-party audit, I say. No. Preston slams his hand on the table. Absolutely not. An audit stops operations for weeks. The flow stays at 50%, I say. Actually, looking at the time, it's been 2 hours. The secondary protocol is about to kick in. Preston's eyes go wide. Secondary protocol? Yeah. If the system stays in integrity loss mode for more than 120 minutes, it assumes the control room is abandoned or destroyed. It initiates deep sleep. It shuts the main valves completely. To zero. You're lying, Preston gasps. Am I? I check my watch. I have 4 minutes. I'm not lying. I mean, technically, I am. The deep sleep mode takes 4 hours to kick in, not 2, but they don't know that. They never read the manual. I need to force their hand before they try something stupid like physically cutting the wires to the servers. Oh God, Gary moans. If we hit zero flow, the vacuum pressure will collapse the intake pipes. Yep, I say, like sucking a milkshake too hard through a paper straw. Crinkle, crunch. Becky, stop it, Miller yells. Gary, draft a contract. Immunity, indemnification, whatever she wants. Get her back in that chair. I want the regulator on the line, I say. I want a PHMSA rep on this call, witnessing that I am returning under duress to prevent a catastrophe caused by your negligence. We can't get a Fed on the line in 4 minutes. Gary cries. Then you better start praying to the god of physics, I say, because he's the only one listening now. I watch them scramble. It's pathetic. These are the masters of the universe, the captains of industry, their children playing with matches in a dynamite factory. Preston is on his phone, screaming at someone. Gary is typing furiously. Old Man Miller is just staring at the camera, looking at me, really looking at me. You planned this, Miller says softly. You knew he would fire you eventually. I hoped he wouldn't, I say truthfully. But I prepared for when he did. Taught me that, sir. Always have a backup valve. Touché, Miller grunts. 2 minutes, I announce. The tension in the room is physical. It's distorting the video feed. I have a contact at the regional PHMSA office, Gary shouts. I'm patching him in. Don't hang up. I lean back in my library chair. The librarian is staring at me. I give her a thumbs up. This is it, the turn. I'm not just the victim anymore. I'm the leverage. The screen splits. New window pops up. It's a guy named Agent Henderson from the Pipeline Safety Administration. He looks like he was dragged out of a meeting, wearing a headset, fluorescent lights reflecting off his glasses, looking annoyed. This is Henderson, PHMSA Region 5. I have Miller Energy Legal and, who is this? He squints at my feed. Donna, I say, former integrity manager, currently unemployed. She's holding our pipeline hostage. Preston blurted out. She rigged a logic bomb. Agent Henderson, I cut in, voice steady. I am the designated integrity manager listed on the DOT filings. I was terminated at 6:00 a.m. The system detected the loss of credentialed oversight and entered safe mode per Title 49, CFR 195.452. Preston Miller is attempting to bypass federal safety locks without a qualified replacement. Henderson's eyes narrow. Looks at Preston. Is that true? Did you fire the DIM without a handover? She was incompetent. Preston yells. She was faking the data. Actually, I say, I have the data right here. I share my screen. I don't ask permission. I just take over the feed. Up pops the Sector 4 report from last night. The pressure spikes. The mitigation commands. Then I pull up the email from last week. From Preston Miller to Donna internal subject. Sector 4 repairs body. We can't afford downtime this quarter. Stop flagging the corrosion issues. Just reset the sensor limits to allow for higher variance. If the numbers look red, the stock drops. Make them green. Jesus, Gary the lawyer whispers. He buries his face in his hands. Agent Henderson leans closer to his screen. Mr. Miller, did you instruct your safety manager to falsify sensor limits? It was out of context. Preston stammers. She's manipulating the emails. It's DKIM signed, I say tech nerd dirty talk. It's verifiable, and Agent Henderson. If you check the logs I just uploaded to your portal, you'll see 12 more just like it. Henderson goes quiet. He types something on his keyboard. I see them. The upload is timestamped 45 minutes ago. He looks up and his face is stone. Mr. Miller, Henderson says, addressing Preston, you are in direct violation of a federal safety order. If you attempt to override that system manually, I will have U.S. Marshals at your facility within the hour to arrest you for reckless endangerment. Preston goes pale. He looks at his dad on the screen. Dad, do something. Old man Miller looks tired. He looks old. Shut up, Preston. Miller turns his gaze to me. Becky. What do we do? The system needs an operator, I say. A qualified one, or it goes to zero flow to protect the pipe. Come back, Miller says. Name your price. I won't work for Preston, I say, and I won't work for a company that asks me to lie. Preston is relieved of duty, Miller says instantly. Effective immediately. Security, remove him. Preston's jaw drops. Dad, you can't. I built this company with a welding torch, Miller roars, the audio peaking and distorting. You're trying to destroy it with a spreadsheet. Get out. On the video feed, I see the same security guards, Mike and his partner, step forward. They look confused but happy. They grab Preston by the arms. This is insane. Preston screams as he's dragged out of the frame. She's a witch. She's crazy. And then he's gone. The door slams. Silence in the conference room. Just Gary looking like he needs a drink and the empty chair where Preston used to be. Okay, Miller says, breathing hard. He's gone. Henderson is watching. Becky, you unlock the flow? I look at Henderson. Agent, if I log in remotely to stabilize the pressure, am I protected? Verify your status, Henderson says. If you act as an emergency contractor under PHMSA supervision, you are shielded from liability for the duration of the crisis. Okay, I say. But Henderson adds, this facility is now under active investigation. We will be freezing all data for audit. Good, I say. You'll find plenty to read. Open my terminal window. My fingers hover over the keys. I have them. I won. Preston is out. The regulator is in. The old man is begging, but I don't feel happy. I feel exhausted. I'll stabilize it, I say. I'll bring it back to 80%. But I'm not coming back to work, Mr. Miller, Becky. No. I'll monitor it remotely from here until you fly in a replacement team. I'll bill you my consulting rate. It's $500 an hour, minimum 4 hours. Done, Miller says. Just keep the oil moving. I start typing. Command, auth override remote user, R. Wilson admin password, system response, welcome back, Rebecca, integrity restored. On the wall in the conference room, the red lights turn to yellow, then slow blinking green. Gary exhales a breath that fogs up the camera lens. I lean back. My hands are shaking. I need a cigarette. I need a drink. I need a nap. Flow is restoring, I say. Touch anything until the feds get there. I mute my microphone. I turn off my camera. I sit alone in the library. The guy in the periodicals section snores loudly. It's over, or so I thought. I stay in the library for another 2 hours, babysitting the pressure valves from my laptop, while Agent Henderson orchestrates a raid on the Miller Energy offices. It's weirdly peaceful. I watch the numbers bob and weave, smoothing them out with gentle keystrokes. It's like calming a spooked horse. Around noon, my phone rings. It's Gary the lawyer. Donna, he says. His voice is different now, respectful, fearful. Mr. Miller wants to know if you can fly to Chicago tomorrow to discuss the transition. Pass, I say. I'm not an employee, Gary. I'm a consultant. And my consulting advice is hire a new team. Look, Gary lowers his voice. We're prepared to offer a significant settlement. For your Silence regarding the specifics of the glitch can frame Preston's departure as a strategic disagreement. We don't need the press knowing about the safety override. Gary, I say, popping the tab on a lukewarm Diet Coke I bought from the vending machine. The press already knows. I saw a Reddit thread about it 10 minutes ago. Some trucker in Toledo posted a video of the locked gates. It has 3,000 upvotes. We can manage the narrative, Gary insists. If you sign an NDA, we're talking 6 figures. On a life-changing money. I pause. 6 figures. I could fix my truck. I could fix my roof. I could go to a yoga retreat and actually pay attention instead of angrily texting my ex. But then I look at the Danny DeVito bobblehead. If I take the money, I become one of them. I become the person who helps hide the rust. No deal, Gary. Donna, be reasonable. You'll be blacklisted. No one in the energy sector will hire a whistleblower who held a pipeline hostage. I didn't hold it hostage, I correct him. I put it in a safety harness. And honestly, I don't want to work in the energy sector anymore. I'm tired of fixing things that rich people break. Then what are you going to do? I'm going to finish this audit with Henderson, I say. And then I'm going to go home and sleep for a week. And if you guys try to smear me, I kept copies of the emails, Gary, on 3 different cloud servers. If I disappear, go to the New York Times. You're playing a dangerous game. No, Gary, I just finished the game, and I won. I hang up. I log off the remote session. The new team from PHMSA has arrived on site. I can see their logins popping up on the network. Admin PHMSA 01. I watch them take control. They're clumsy, slow, they don't know the rhythm of the pipes yet, but they'll learn or they won't. Not my problem. I close my laptop. My phone pings. Text from an unknown number. Hey, this is Sarah from Competitor X, a rival energy firm. Heard what happened. We need a head of safety who actually cares about safety and who hates Preston Miller. Call me, I smile. Bad news travels fast, but competence travels faster. I don't reply yet. I pack up my bag. The librarian gives me a dirty look as I throw my empty soda can in the recycling bin. Sorry, Gladys, I say. Just saving the world. Quietly, I walk out to my truck. The rain has started. A cold, miserable drizzle. But it feels good. It washes off the grime of the control room. I sit in the truck and look at the Danny DeVito meme on my phone. Can I offer you a nice egg in this trying time? I laugh. A real laugh. I started the day as a fired, middle-aged divorcee with a nicotine addiction and a dying career. I'm ending it as the woman who brought a billion-dollar company to its knees because they forgot to say please. But there's one last loose end. The sriracha. See, I didn't just leave the digital traps. I left a few physical ones in the office before I walked out. Preston keeps a bottle of expensive collagen water in the break room fridge. He drinks it every day at 1 p.m. for his skin elasticity. Yesterday, injected about 3 ounces of ghost pepper extract into it. I check my watch. 1:15 p.m. Right about now, Preston is probably sitting in the security office, waiting for his dad's lawyers, taking a sip of his fancy water. I really hope he likes spicy food. I'm halfway home when the news alert hits. Miller Energy CEO Preston Miller steps down amidst federal safety probe. Stock tumbles 14%. Steps down. That's the polite way of saying Daddy fired him. I stop at a gas station to fill up the truck. Irony isn't lost on me. I'm buying the very fuel I spent the morning choking off. The price is up 20 cents. Thanks, Preston, I mutter, swiping my card. While the pump runs, I check my email one last time. There's a message from Kevin, the junior analyst. Subject, Holy SHT Body, Becky. You're a legend. Preston drank the water, threw up in the trash can in the lobby while the feds were walking him out. It was poetic. Also, the new guys from PHMSA are asking for your notes. They said the code is elegant. Miss you already. Kev, I smile. Good old Kevin, he'll be fine. He's got good instincts. I finish pumping gas and climb back in. The smell of diesel is strong on my hands. I used to hate that smell. Now, it smells like victory. I call the number from Sarah at the rival firm. This is Donna, I say. Donna, glad you called, Sarah says. She sounds sharp, professional. We heard the tapes. The regulator released the audio of the conference call. I didn't sabotage anything, I just did my job. That's going to be on t-shirts by next week. I don't want t-shirts, I say. I want a contract that says I have absolute veto power on safety shutdowns. No questions asked. No call the CEO. If I say stop, we stop. Done, Sarah says without hesitation. And the salary? Double what Miller was paying me, plus a company truck. A new one with heated seats. Deal. Can you start Monday? Make it Wednesday, I say. I have a date with a bottle of wine and a Danny DeVito marathon. Wednesday it is. I hang up. I drive home. My apartment is quiet. My cat, a one-eared stray named Valve, greets me at the door. I pour a glass of cheap Merlot and sit on the couch. I pull up the Miller Energy stock ticker on my phone. It's still dropping. I didn't destroy them. They destroyed themselves. I just turned on the lights so everyone could see the rot. I take a sip of wine. It's not great wine, but it tastes like freedom. Preston is probably crying in a limousine right now. Old man Miller is probably drinking scotch and wondering where he went wrong raising that boy. And me, I regulate the pressure. I keep the temperature stable. When things get too hot, I shut it down. I open Reddit. I start typing. Title: For 6 years, I monitored every pipeline valve in your family's fuel network. Now you're firing me because I make the numbers look bad? Post: Buckle up, folks. This isn't another found her iPhone under the couch story. I hit post. Outside, the rain stops. The sun pokes through the gray clouds. It's not a perfect day, but the pipes are holding. The river is clean, and I'm finally fully offline. We're all healed. Appreciate you sticking around, you wise old rebels. Smash that subscribe button, or this fossil might just cause another epic fiasco.